Hello. Good day, everyone. It's another episode of Ask Me Anything. And this is Katrina. I'm coming to you live from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And I usually come on in here. I committed last week to come on in here at least once a week to converse with you more, to have conversations and answer the most frequently asked questions around different topics. By the way, tonight, tune in because our topic for tonight is what's the secret to better decision making. So, I'll be sharing with you some practical tips that we can all use when we are faced with big decisions, big decision making. All right. So, as I was saying, I'm Katrina. I'm based here in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, with my family. And I usually say I work and have fun here online. And last week, I committed to coming on in here more often, more consistently, at least once a week, to have conversations with you about the business, the frequently asked questions about the business, and also share with you anything about family life, practical applications, personal development, faith, and everything in between. And if you're tuning in live, let me know where you guys or on a replay. Let me know where you are coming in from. I'd love to hear from you. And Rebecca, hello. Yes. And Jackie, hello. How are you guys? How are you, ladies? And yeah, I show up here to give value to you, my audience. If this is the first time you're seeing me, or if you've been watching me my page for a while now. I feel so privileged to be my own CEO of my own online business. And somewhere along my journey in my online business journey, I realized that this business has gotten bigger than myself and my dreams because I'm able to help other individuals, specifically parents like me, to switch it up and become entrepreneurs without prior experience. And so I owe it not just to myself, but to you, my audience who's watching right now, to get more value from and share value because, as they say, sharing is caring, right? So I hope you're able to relate with whatever I'm sharing here, or just someone to share um, journey with, right? So today the question is, what's the secret to better decision making? Just a little background on why I came up with it, how I came up with this topic. Because the starting, I think that was last week, we are faced with a major decision of which high school our eldest son would be attending next school year, which is September. I know it's like more than 10 months from now, but the applications have started. Actually, the other schools have already had a cutoff for the application. So we're not okay. This is another huge decision. And my husband and I are like kind of stressed. It's crunch time, right? And I'm guilty as charged. I usually cram. I usually leave it to the last minute. So that was the inspiration for this go live topic. And we got so stressed to the point, okay, I don't know anymore. So I just stopped for a bit and then think things through. Number one is, and so I researched online and I got this really good, what they call this, written blog by Jim Rohn. And this is The Secret to Better Decision Making. So, number one is, he says, clear your mind. So, I think I did the right thing because we were so stressed. I just stepped back. And he mentioned here, before this one, we are usually faced with different life decisions, right? And I saw here what are the super um, categories that that we make decisions on. It could be career, education, family, finance, relationships, relocations. Some are like self destruction, self development, and others. So, those are the huge categories where we usually decide on. And some specific examples are I saw this on the internet, like getting divorced or not, adopting a child or having a child or not, getting married, moving to a new place, new state, or new country, making a decision for your child or not, buying a home or not, and ending a relationship or not, and other things like moving to a city or not, caring for a family member or not. So those are just some examples. And generally speaking, decision making should be quite simple, right? But we are often paralyzed or we feel stuck because we don't want to make the wrong quote unquote decision, and we are so worried usually about the what ifs. What if it doesn't turn out well? What if it's a wrong decision? What if it's a wrong move? What would others say if this thing happened? And what if it's wrong and it's irreversible, right? So those are the things which is very common, right? I experienced that myself. For sure you guys also can relate about that. And also Jim Rohn has mentioned that what's worse about than having fear of making a wrong decision is really also when it prevents us from making a decision at all. Like, we can't decide, we cannot choose, and that in itself is a decision, right? And not making any decision, it's usually not for our highest good, right? So it's kind of stressful in a way. And so here are some techniques that he mentioned to gain clarity when we are making decisions, especially specifically the big ones. So as I've said, number one is we have to, Jim Rohn says, clear our mind. First, we have to, take a few minutes to get into a relaxed state if that's really the moment, you know, um, and then relaxed state. So you free your mind from all fears or worries, and that will help you think more logically rather than getting stuck on emotional responses, right? And yeah, when you're super stressed, step away and come back to it. Maybe go for a walk, and usually big decisions, it's not like a one day decision. It happens over weeks, months, or even years, right? And yeah, it's really good to like step away from it and then come back with fresh mind, fresh eyes, so you're not really pressured in a way, so you can have a logical thinking. So that's the first one. And yes, I'm just gonna, yes, live from Toronto. Yes, Rebecca, I'm good, thank you. Yes, I was thinking about that word, Rebecca, paralysis analysis. Thank you for that. And next is, where is that? Number two, here you go. Listen for signals. What does it mean? So it's mentioned here that you bring your decisions individually. So let's say you have two or three options. So let's say, for example, us deciding which high school we will have our son attend to. Of course, we're also consulting him, right? So we have three options at least. Are we going to bring that one each, and then um, pay attention to the responses from your body. Like, do you, when you give this decision, if we do this decision, will it make us, will my body tighten up, or will I have some apprehensive feelings, or will this decision make me feel excited or giddy, right? And I think I can very much relate to this when I'm buying Just simple decisions like when I'm buying shoes or buying clothes. Hello, ladies. Can you relate? Does it spark joy? Right? Um, when you look in the mirror, does it feel good on you? Do you feel excited? You imagine yourself wearing that thing to a special occasion and you're feeling confident with that. So that's a small decision. But when it comes to the big decisions, also listen to your body language. Are you excited when you think about it, or are you feeling okay, not so much, right? So listen to that. And next would be this one: consider the pros and the cons. So it says here that this is an old trick. I'm looking at my cheat sheet here so I don't forget anything, but it's still quite effective. Why? Because rather than relying on emotional impulses, I think I'm guilty of that. I'm not sure if, like most ladies, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, we can tend to be more emotional, all right? And when you write things down, it creates that logical um, thinking for you. And writing them down on paper or on your notes app, it's even better because it will show you clearly the difference, like what's the benefits, what's beneficial, what's not. And yeah, sometimes this technique alone is enough to help you decide one way or another. And I remember I actually used this when I last year, October of last year, I decided to whether I would submit my resignation letter or not, to my in my corporate job last year. It was not an overnight decision. It's like at least, if I remember correctly, at least 2 months of back and forth with my husband because it's a huge decision, right? I've never experienced something like that, and never in my whole life that I thought of I'll be doing that, right? Maybe at the back of my mind, but not really in reality. Um, and so what I did, because emotionally speaking, I really want to quit my job, but logically, will so the question I did this left and right column. So I wrote down the benefits. What will I get if I do the business full time? What will I not get? How will it affect our family finances? Things like that. I assess the longevity, the sustainability of the business. And emotionally, I know the answer, but I just want to be more logical. So it helps, right? And the moment I saw, okay, and of course, the decision I made is yes, I actually quit my job and now doing the business full time. All right, so that one is consider the pros and cons, write it down. And fourth one, fourth is consider the consequences, right? So think about, um, well, few of us can really see the future in details in terms of, okay, this one can bring this, what do you call this result, right? But we can imagine at the very least, let's take for example, if we do this decision, or if I move to this country, what will how will it affect my life? Will I bring my children? Will I bring my spouse with me first, or will I just be there and settle there for a bit and then just get them, right? So things like that. What will be the outcome? How it will affect your relationship, your mental health, your well-being as well, right? And also, two good questions to ask during this process would be, what could possibly happen if I make this decision? And is it likely to happen? Right? Sometimes you'll discover that your fears are out of proportions to the likely consequences. And once you realize the likelihood is small, you'll be more confident and finally making a decision, right? So you weigh the pros and cons and also consider the consequences. Okay. And I'll just hop on in here. Rebecca, yeah. Yeah, that's our state now, searching for high school. Yeah, I know. Are you guys also looking for high school? I think, yeah, my son is 13, so might be your eldest as well, as same age as mine, or I think your second one, right? Yeah, so agree with this. It always works for me. It's a huge but all worth it good headache to encounter. Yes for Joaquin. Oh, yes, right? Whew, the decisions. And last but definitely not the least is pray about your decision and choose. So Jim Rohn has mentioned choose. I added pray because I always believe that, asking guidance, whatever your faith is, asking guidance from a bigger person out there is always the best one to give you guidance. And that's the hardest part, the choosing, right? But then again, even not making a decision in itself is a decision as well. And the question here is, wouldn't you rather have control of your choices rather than letting your inaction bring about its own consequences? So there you go. After using these techniques, pretty much we have a solid guide of how to tackle the next decision making in front of us, right? I've done a lot of huge decisions as well in my adult life. I would say, shifting from one career to another. Are we going to move here to Canada or Australia, but mostly here in Canada? Are we going to come together as a family, or will I be here first and then I'll just get them? Well, obviously, we came all here together. And the thing is, generally speaking, as Jim Rohn mentioned in the blog, there's really wrong decisions are very rare in a sense that your whatever decision that you have right now that has a consequence that usually you learn from it ideally, right? And there are no accidents. And as Steve Jobs would say said, you cannot connect the dots looking forward, you can only connect the dots looking backward. So, for example, in my case, with all the career shifts that I did, from TV production to being a registered nurse to being an insurance advisor, you know, they still come into play into the business that I'm running right now. I'm now working with people working mostly or nurses or in the healthcare field, and also in the finance field, right? So uh, um, I used attraction marketing in social media advertising, and I attracted those people. So somehow, yes, it all comes together. And those decisions that I made in the past are huge parts of whatever I am in right now, right? So there you have it. I hope you guys are able to get value from that. And let me see here. Yeah. So there you go. This is another episode of Ask Me Anything. If you have any questions that you want me to answer regarding the business or anything, life in general, parenthood, family, faith, everything in between, my keto diet, things like that, feel free to drop it here on the comment section, or you can send me a direct message if you want. There you go. So until our next go live together next Tuesday. All right. And there you go. Thank you so much for tuning in and have a blessed day. All right. Bye for now.